Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today we have got a new angle, a new location, and different lighting, which I'm not really a fan of, but what can you do? It's evening and it's getting dark, so we have to have overhead lighting, which is not ideal, but here we are. So we have got a chop and chat today. So I had asked on my community tab and over on Instagram for you guys to ask me some questions because I have a whole stack of Teddy Bees wax here to chop. I ordered Teddy Bees a while ago and my pre-order has now arrived, so I've got a bunch of wax here to chop. I like to pre-chop my wax so that I can just use it on the go. I don't have to chop things as I use them day to day. So I will chop these things up and kind of just chat as I'm chopping. I've tried to make it so I'm far enough away that you can see what I'm doing here in front of me and also see me. So I've tried to do a little bit of both, but it does mean I'm kind of weirdly far away from the camera this time. So this will not be the normal filming situation, but this is what we got for tonight. So this is going to be a long chatty video. So grab yourself a drink, some snacks, whatever you want, and we are going to chop some wax. So I have got some questions from Instagram that you guys asked, as well as some YouTube comments on the community tab, and I will just kind of go through them all and answer some questions as we go. A lot of the questions are Scentsy related, so I will answer those, and then some of them are just like non-Scentsy related, and I'll answer those too. So my basic plan of attack here is I have got a cutting board, a crinkle cut wax cutter. This is from Amazon, relatively inexpensive. Just search crinkle cutter on Amazon, and it's just a blade that you can use to chop your wax. And then I have some bags here. These are, what are these called? Polypropylene bags. They're a special kind of plastic that doesn't leach fragrance oil. So they're scent proof basically. So I have these bags that I ordered from Teddy Bees with my pre-order, and I'll be putting these tubs into these bags. So that's my plan of attack. These are going to stay in the bags they came in, and so are the loaves. The loaves should fit in the bag that they came in. So that's the general plan of attack here, and I will get started and kind of just chat about the scents that I ordered as well as answer some of your questions. So the first thing I have here is a Teddy Bees sample in Master of Whisperers, and I'm not sure what the scent notes on this are. It doesn't say. I smell leaves. It's like a leafy fall type scent to my nose. Can't get it out of here. Oh, there we go. It's a very pleasant leafy scent, kind of very fall, very like perfumery, kind of niche type scent. It's very nice. I would probably order this in a souffle. It's pleasant. So that is Master of Whisperers. All right, we are going to start chopping. What should we start with? The big ones or the little ones? Let's start with the little ones. I like to go from least scented to most scented so that there's less scent transfer as I'm cutting these. So I'm going to choose Milk of the Poppy first, because this one is probably one of the lighter souffles I have. These are the smallest size she sells. It's called Milk of the Poppy. The notes on this are Palo Santo and rich creamy vanilla. So this is very pretty. It's just kind of a soft, yeah, this is pretty. It's a soft, creamy scent. Really lovely. So this one, I'm just gonna, it's got black glitter in it, if you can see. I'll try to show you them as I go. So I'm gonna try to put this one right over here. I'm just gonna pop it out of its cup. And I will discard the cup here. And I'm only kind of like talking through this first one. After this, I'm just gonna chop and chat, and you guys will know the drill. And then I'm gonna chop it into pieces and put it back into this bag. So these I tend to chop into half, and then, what do I do? Half again, and then this way. So that's my plan. I will start talking now. Favorite Scentsy bar for each season. Someone on Instagram asked me that. Okay, let's start with winter. Because for winter, I have a clear favorite, and it would be Christmas Cottage from Scentsy. That would be my favorite for the winter. For spring, it's harder. I don't have a clear-cut favorite for spring. And then here, I'm just going to take these two end halves, or end pieces, and then cut these in half. And then I'll cut this into thirds. For spring, I don't think I have a spring favorite. Maybe My Wish. It's not really spring specific for me, but I do enjoy My Wish quite a lot. Summer, Pina Colada Cha-Cha, 100%. Fall, Bright Cider Life. If I had to pick one bar for fall, it would be Bright Cider Life. And incidentally, the only one of those that's still available is going to be Christmas Cottage for the winter. So that is my favorite. So here's Milk of the Poppy all chopped up. And it's bag again, so now I can just grab these chunks as I want to warm them in my bedroom, and that's ready to go. So I'll pop that over here. And we'll start with the Dragon and the Wolf. This one is dark vanilla, vanilla woods, cardamom, vetiver, vanilla orchid, tonka absolute, and espresso essence. This one is one that was kind of a wild card for me. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because of the vetiver, because I don't typically like vetiver, but I love this. Like, I really wish I'd ordered a bigger one because this is stunning. This is unlike anything else. Yeah, it's like creamy and smooth and sweet and a little bit woodsy. It's just a little bit of everything. I'm getting a little bit of, is that espresso? Yeah, I'm getting a bit of the espresso, not overly coffee though. Lots of vanilla. I am getting a little bit of that orchid and the tonka. It's stunning. This is a beautiful scent. Next question is non-favorite or non-wax favorites and life favorites. So somebody had asked about my life favorites video. So for a while there, I was doing like a seasonal video once a season about my like favorites, just that were non-wax, non-home fragrance, even just random things that I came across in the world that I really, really enjoyed. And I was doing those videos and I had fun with those. And I think a lot of people did enjoy those. I got away from them after a year because I haven't found any interesting enough new favorites that would justify an entire video. So like, I'll think of things and I'm like, well, I could talk about that, but nothing's really like super exciting or new right now. Like, I haven't found anything, at least not enough things that I would be able to justify an entire video of life favorites. But I will do another life favorites video probably at some point, once I have enough new life favorites to talk about. But in the meantime, if you have any life favorites for me, things that you stumbled upon in the world recently, I would love to know in the comments below. So there is the Dragon and the Wolf, chopped and ready. All right. Non-wax favorites. Can I think of anything? I got nothing. Yeah, I will do a life favorites video at some point when I have things to talk about. Top wax vendors, that I can do. For vendor wax, I mean, Scentsy is kind of like my all-time favorite for wax. But for vendors, I do have a few vendor wax favorites. The one I'm starting now is Michael here. This is vanilla birch, mahogany vanilla, and smooth marshmallow cream. I'll show you the glitter there, it's pretty. This one's a little bit masculine. It's like a slightly masculine laundry scent. It's not my favorite of the order, to be honest. It's probably my least favorite of the order. It's not bad, I like it, but I'm told it needs age, and I think that's probably accurate. Where was I? Top wax vendor favorites. Okay. My favorite vendors are Teddy Bees, as we can see here. Another favorite of mine is Melting Memories here in Canada, and she actually has a pre-order coming up for fall, and the scent list for her fall pre-order looks phenomenal. Like, it's one of the best fall pre-order lists I've seen. That is happening, I want to say this Friday? August 23rd, I think, is the date on that. And I think it runs through the weekend. So yeah, Melting Memories, get on that for sure. She's fantastic. And her pre-order list looks phenomenal. And her wax is great. I love Melting Memories. She does some really unique blends, and she's Canadian, which I appreciate because otherwise shipping and duties cost so much here in Canada. She does ship within the US, which is really nice. So you can still get her if you're in the US as well. And the dollar conversion actually works out in your favor if you are in the US. So I love her. The other one I loved but isn't currently open is Sassy Girl Aroma. She is not open again until I think probably early 2025, I think is what the last word was. But she's really great too. I also really enjoy Harper James. She's got some fantastic wax as well. I haven't ordered from her in a while, but she's got some great stuff. So the next one I'm doing here is Sundresses and Lemonade. This one is one that my friend Narina suggested I had to try. This is her favorite. This one is Fresh Ozone and Air, Roses, Jasmine, Lavender, Vanilla, Melon, and Sugared Lemon with a fizzy twist. And this is very pretty. It's not showing the glitter very well, but there you go. It's iridescent. This smells like something I've had from Lush, and I cannot pinpoint it. But this is something I have had before from Lush. I think maybe a bath bomb, but possibly a shower gel, and I can't pinpoint what it is. It's beautiful though. I really like this. This is very spring and summer though. I would never melt this in the fall or winter, but it's very pretty. I definitely get the lemon fizz. It's beautiful. And I do get the floral notes. The floral notes are not overwhelmingly floral, but there is floral here. But mostly I'm getting that kind of fizzy lemon note, and it's beautiful. Okay, next one we have here is what I'm most looking forward to from Scentsy this season. Scentsy has tons of stuff coming up this season. So for fall and winter, the lineup is looking fantastic. I think what I'm looking forward to the most is probably, it's always between the harvest bars and the holiday bars. And now I've had the harvest bars and I really, really like them. So now I'm kind of jonesing for the holiday bars to see what those are like, because last year they were so solid. They were fabulous. And I think the other thing I really like to look forward to is the, we haven't seen if there's even going to be one yet this year, but I really look forward to the limited edition holiday warmer. Now again, I don't know if we're going to have one this year, but if we do, that's something I always look forward to seeing and getting my hands on if I can or if I want to. But I love to see what they come up with for that limited edition warmer. And there is that all chopped up and ready. But I'm usually like about the wax. Like the wax is kind of where my heart lies, so I'm all about the wax. I'm trying to decide what to cut here next. I think I'm gonna do Gimme Some Sugar. This is one of the like one size things she did. So this is like a pan. It's called Gimme Some Sugar, and it's got pink sugar, sweet cream, and sugar cookies. And I mostly got this for my daughter. This is something she would really enjoy, and she did. She actually loved everything in this order. So there is that one. Very pretty. This is a nice blend of sugar cookies with just a little bit of pink sugar. It does have some creaminess, like it's like a milk and cookies type scent. It's very pretty. So we're gonna put that right here. And again, I'm going kind of like the lighter ones first. This is a lighter scent as well. And we'll toss that to the side. What else have I got here? Scentsy Heartbreaks and things that I wish I could club but haven't got in my club. Yeah, Pacific Sandalwood, #1, first and foremost. The other one I would say is King Cake from the Mardi Gras collection, which I do have clubbed, but I only have one. And that is a regret, and I wish I could have more. I wish I could up it in my club to at least 2 or 3 bars, because that one is fantastic. It mixes well with everything. It's good on its own. And I thought it was just okay until it aged a little while. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so good. And I can't add more to my club now. So that was kind of a bummer. Whoop, what am I doing? There we go. So Pacific Sandalwood and more King Cake would be my answer. The size of my wax collection. So somebody asked how I feel about the size of my wax collection, and do I feel like I have a good handle on it? Do I feel like I'm warming as much as I'm bringing in, and that sort of thing. So I don't know how to answer. I mean, on one hand, my wax collection is huge. It is an enormous wax collection. Somebody asked about the number of bars, and I'm not sharing that. That is not happening. I do know the number of bars. I have a spreadsheet. I keep very good track of it, so I know exactly what I have and don't have. And that was one thing I did last year, is I started using Martha. She has a channel here, Martha's Fragrance Corner, I think it is. She has a spreadsheet that she lets us use for free. And I downloaded that and have been religiously using it ever since. And that I really feel has given me some control and like a good knowledge of what I have. Because I felt like before I knew I had a lot of wax, but I didn't know exactly what I had. So I would think, oh, I must be out of this bar because I can't find it. And then I'd order another one and be like, oh, there's the original bar. So now that's not happening. Now I'm ordering what I know I have, and what I know I don't have, I can order more of. So that's working better, and I appreciate that. As far as whether I feel like I'm bringing in more than I'm putting out, like slightly. There's like a slight growth in my collection, but for the most part, it is kind of like I melt about as much as I bring in. And I feel like since I've been a consultant for a bit longer now, and it's not brand new to me, I do order most things. I do test most things. If there's a scent or a collection that I really don't think I'm gonna like, I don't order it. But for the most part, I do order most things. And where was I going? I just got sidetracked by the wax stack over there. But yeah, for the most part, I do order most things, but I feel like in general, I know what I really, really like, and I do have more or less the same amount going in as coming out. But like I said, there is some slight growth, and I don't take into account vendor wax in that. I only have a spreadsheet for my Scentsy wax, so my vendor wax is kind of rogue. But yeah, as far as whether I feel it's a large collection, it is a large collection. And I mean, the nice thing about it being a consultant is I have most of it for free or at least half off. I rarely spend, well, at this point, I don't spend any of my own money on wax. I spend commission on wax sometimes, but even then I'm getting it half off or with party rewards for free or that sort of thing. So it's rare for me at this point in time to spend money on wax. So yeah, a lot of the time my wax is pretty much covered by commissions or party rewards, which I really, really appreciate and value. And that is one of the really beautiful perks of being a consultant and working this business more, is that you do have commissions coming in that you can then use to kind of fund your own stash, which is lovely. So there is that. The next one I'm going to chop here is Ikabod SE. This one is fresh pumpkin, clove, bourbon, maple, and toasted oak. And this one is a pumpkin, like, boozy scent. I definitely get the bourbon here. This has a booziness. It kind of reminds me of like Fireball. It's almost kind of nauseating in like a college dorm room kind of way. Don't ask me how I know, but here we go. So there is the glitter on that one. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I like it, but there's something that's just kind of a scent memory here, and I'm not sure about it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's boozy. Okay. We'll see. We will see. Next one here we have, okay, what to look for when purchasing a warmer. So if you're ordering a warmer, what kinds of things should you look for? The main one, of course, is wattage. The higher the wattage in general, the warmer that warmer is going to get. And the warmer that warmer gets, the better the scent throw tends to be. Now with element warmers, it's a bit different because they are all hot plate warmers with varying wattages. And with element warmers, I am learning sometimes, usually higher wattage element warmers perform better. However, there are times when your 6 and 8 watt element warmers are still going to perform pretty well. And those tend to be the ones where they're fairly short. So the shorter element warmers tend to do well regardless of wattage. Yeah. The taller, if it's a lower element like a 6 or 8 under 10, and it's a taller element warmer, those ones tend to struggle in my experience. And it can kind of be hit or miss, because I also have like the Retro Reindeer, which is a very petite warmer. And it's like I think it's an 8 watt, 6 or 7 or 8. It's a lower wattage element, but it's petite enough that it should theoretically be a good performer, and it's not. In my home, that one is a very underperforming warmer, and I'm not a fan. I made a mess of this one, holy smokes. It's like broken into two, like we're like separating here. I hate when it does that. Oh well. But element warmers, yeah, they can be kind of hit or miss. Bulb warmers, I feel, are more consistent. I feel like overall, bulb warmers are generally pretty consistent, especially if you have like a 20 or 25 watt especially. 40 watts are like consistently, I haven't come across a 40 watt that didn't perform very well. 25 watts tend to be very reliable as well. When we're talking differences in 25 watts, like across the board, the differences are minute. Like you might find slightly better performance from a ceramic warmer in a 25 watt than you would from, say, a tin cutout warmer in a 25 watt. But again, we're talking like almost indistinguishable differences. And in a room, you probably wouldn't notice that difference. So, I mean, in general, those are things to kind of be aware of if you want the absolute best payoff. Your absolute best warmers are going to be your 25 watt ceramic or your 40 watt bulb warmers. But overall, they're all pretty solid and it doesn't really matter. I just pick what I like. I would say just pick what works in your home best and pick what you like and go with that. And then that, oh, yeah, somebody wanted to know the number of bars in my stash. That's staying secret. How often I change my wax. And the reason it's staying secret is not because I'm like ashamed of it or anything. It's because people are going to compare it to their own collections or say it's a crazy number, and it is a large number. But I also do this as a side business, and I also didn't pay for most of these bars out of like my own personal family bank account. So for that reason, it's a little bit apples and oranges. Yeah, and how often I change my wax. I change my wax in the bedrooms and in the bathrooms when I can't smell it anymore, which is usually in the bedrooms and bathrooms 1 to 3 days, depending. In the open area here, it tends to be about every 24 hours. I'll change it every day in general. There are occasional times where scents will go longer and they'll go 2 days, and then I'll let it go 2 days, unless I really am bored with it, and then I'll change it sooner. But for other spaces in the house, I don't have time to mess with wax that often, so whenever I can't smell it anymore is when it gets changed. So there is the Instagram questions. Next, we have a whole bunch here on YouTube. Paul Amor wants to know, let's see here, how some of my favorite performers change on throw due to humidity or temperature in the home. So humidity and temperature, yes, those can affect your wax throw a little bit. I think my observation has been, I'm just trying to decide what to melt or what to chop here. What's the lightest? We're on to tubs now. The smaller ones are all done. Let's do toasted marshmallow cookies. It's got just marshmallowy notes to it. Did I tell you about Ikabod? Yeah, I did, okay. Toasted marshmallow sugar cookies. We have sweet sugar, buttery shortbread, buttercream frosting, vanilla, sugar cookie dough, and toasty marshmallows. And this one was kind of like a last minute ad for me. I almost didn't get this one, but I do love a good marshmallow sugar cookie. I can't resist those. I feel like the lighting, like my overhead lights are like casting shadows under my eyes and making it look like I have dark circles, and I probably do, but not this. This is beautiful. This is a nice, cozy marshmallow, lots of sugar cookie. Yeah, I really like this. I'm glad I got this one. Okay. Humidity and temperature. Okay, it has been my observation that in the summer, and I've heard a lot of people say this, in the summer things just don't seem to perform as well. And I think part of that is due to humidity. And when you think about it like on a molecular level, which is a nerdy thing to say, but here we are. When you think about like the air particles in your house, when the humidity is high, it means there's more moisture in the air. There's more water particles in the air. When those are in the air, I feel like it's probably harder for the scent molecules to move through the air because they're going to get caught up in like the moisture molecules, is what I suspect. I am not a scientist. This is me making stuff up, but I think that makes sense in my brain. That is something I've observed. I think that's possibly why, if I had to guess. Yeah. So if I had to guess, it's probably because the scent cannot get as far as it can in dry air. In dry air, there's nothing impeding it. It's going to be able to spread farther and do a bit better. Whereas in the summer, it's going to be kind of bogged down and weighed down and kind of kept in one area because of the moisture in the air. As far as temperature, I think that probably matters less, but like airflow, I think, is the key there. I think if you have air conditioner or heater in the winter running, that tends to make a difference and that can impede scent through a bit. Whereas if you have still air, the scent is going to accumulate in that air better than if the air is moving and the scent constantly has to rebuild itself in the air because the air has moved. So I feel like airflow is a big one, and humidity. And then my iPad has changed screen on me again here. Okay. Do I mix my scents very often? Do I mix cubes in the same warmer, or do I have 2 warmers in the room and put the cubes in each warmer separately? Wondering what works better. I do sometimes mix my scents. You'll see on what I've been warming when I do that. And just one quick aside here, I'm going to start putting these in bags. So what I do with this is I take the lid and I keep it. I discard the plastic tub and I keep the lid because it has the label with the scent notes, so I know what the scent is and what's in it. And I just put that forward facing in here and then put the wax behind it. So mixing scents, yeah, you'll see when I do that on my what I've been warming videos. As far as how I do that, people sometimes do alternating warmers, and then if you have multiple warmers in a space, you'll just do like alternating warmers with scents. I usually do the same warmer. So that's just my personal preference. I don't know that it works better or worse. It's just my personal preference to just do them in the same warmer. So I'll just do 1 cube of each usually, or if I'm doing a three scent mix, I'll do 1 cube of each of the 3 scents in the warmer. And I just, I just put them in the same warmer generally. And I just kind of decide on mixes based on what I have that's kind of half used usually, and what I think would smell good together. So usually it's a matter of I have a half a bar of this and 2 cubes of this laying around. I think those would go well together. That's usually how most of my mixes come to fruition. But sometimes there's a scent where it's like, I'm not sure I love this scent, but I have this scent that I think would pair well with it. And then you can kind of fix up scents that you don't like as much with mixes like that. So as far as what works better, I think it's just personal preference. I don't know that one works better than the other, alternating versus same dish. I think it's just what you prefer for that particular scent mix or for your particular space. All right, my favorite book or book series. The Oryx and Crake series by Margaret Atwood. Love Margaret Atwood, love all of her work. But the Oryx and Crake series, there's like a trilogy, I believe. Those are fantastic. I love those. Let's see here. Do I like to cook or bake? And if so, what are my specialties or favorites? How do I approach having to feed a family 3 times a day while me and my husband both work outside the home? Do I meal plan or prep, or do I just wing it? this is the life struggle. This is the struggle of life. If you have ideas for this, please let me know. But yeah, that was Shondi. Shondi, solidarity. That's all I can say. Yeah, we do both work outside the home. We do have to feed our family at least 3 times a day. And it gets to be a lot. So generally, I've tried meal planning in the past. It doesn't work for our family for several reasons. One of the reasons is that I am a person who, if I don't feel like eating that thing that night, I'm not going to eat it. So I'm not going to cook and prep something that I don't feel like eating. So if we're having tacos that night and that's on the meal prep plan and I have the meat defrosted for that and all the ingredients bought for tacos and I don't feel like tacos, we're not making tacos. So meal planning goes out the window. The other reason is that sometimes I get migraines and they happen in bad times like once a week. In good times like once or twice a month. But they're regular enough that they're an occurrence in our house. So there's that. Or someone gets sick because it's during the school year and then that changes things up. But there's always things going on that are kind of unpredictable. And those unpredictable things happen with enough regularity that meal prep and meal planning tends to go out the window. The other thing is my husband is on a lot of different like boards and like things like that for work. And so he'll often have like meetings come up or dinner things come up where he has to go to these things in the evenings. And then those can be short notice because he tends to be a bit more scattered than I am or less really rigid with his planning than I am. So we learn about it like the evening of. So sometimes that'll just come up and be like, okay, well, oh, you gotta go for dinner. Okay. So then that changes the dinner plan just a little bit. I tend to be one of those people who's like a hard, scheduled, rigid day planner. He does not have a day planner. He just kind of wings it all the time, which works well for him. And somehow he never forgets anything, but I could not. So yeah, meal prep has not worked in our household. Lunches I make the night before and do that. My own lunches are easy because I just come home for lunch to let my dog out and I'll just grab something here if I'm hungry. But my husband packs a lunch himself and then I pack my daughter's lunch like the night before school starts or the night before school. And that's what we do there. As far as dinner, like I said, it tends to be, I'll have a couple ideas when I grocery shop for the week. I'll have 2 or 3 things that I plan to make and have ingredients for those on hand. And then other than that, it's kind of like figure it out and just kind of wing it. The other thing I'll sometimes do is crock pot meals. So when I'm home at lunch to let my dog out, I will like sometimes have meat put out, or I'll either take meat out to cook later, or I will start a crock pot meal and just throw things in the crock pot so they're kind of ready when we get home. And then I can just make rice or whatever to serve with it. That tends to work well too. But if it's like extra stressful, busy times and we're just both exhausted and tired and burnt out, it's going to be grilled cheese sandwiches or it's going to be air fryer chicken strips. That's the other thing I like to do, is have a few different things that you can just air fry on hand and then serve with some like snap peas or baby carrots just to make it like a meal. That can work out well too for nights when we're not feeling well or when we're just exhausted and burnt out. That can be an option too. What did I just... Oh yeah, beach bronze. This one, okay, this was beach bronze. I've already chopped it so you can't see the glitter. Sorry. This one was ribbons of caramel and honey, sensual vanilla cream, salty driftwood, toasted vanilla, and hints of smoked marshmallow fluff. This is a beautiful summer blend. I'm going to put this away until next summer. This is smooth and creamy. I definitely get the honey and the vanilla. I'm getting something a little bit suntan oilish. What is that? Maybe the driftwood and the sensual vanilla cream. Yeah, I'm not getting overt marshmallow, but this is a very sweet, beachy, lovely scent. Very like sweet, fluffy, cozy marshmallow suntan oil. Very lovely. That is beach bronzed. Okay. Oh no, I forgot to put the... Darn. I'm getting sidetracked here. Talking about my meal planning woes. Okay. Here we go. Putting the lid in there so I can see what I have here. All right. Okay, and as far as do I like to cook or bake? I don't like to cook. I like to cook fancy meals and like Thanksgiving and stuff. I don't like to cook like every night, weeknight dinners. Those are the worst. Baking, I do enjoy baking. I don't bake very often, but I do. Let's see here. At what point is wax considered old? What's the best way to store bars in different climates? It appears where I live, it gets cold in the winter. It gets very cold in the winter where I live. I live in northern BC in Canada, and in the winter it tends to be like -40, -50 sometimes. which I think in Fahrenheit is about the same. I think at that point it doesn't even matter. I think at that point the Fahrenheit works itself out to the same as Celsius at some point around that temperature. Like actually, it gets cold. So yeah. As far as when is wax old, I would say it's, what do we mean by old? Do we mean aged, or do we mean like it's past its prime getting bad? Because past its prime getting bad is usually like 3 to 5+ years. It tends to last quite a while. But aged is usually like over 4 months. 4 months to 2 years, somewhere in there. The best way to store wax in different climates, I mean, I don't think it varies too much in different climates. At the end of the day, wax and fragrance oil in general do not like heat, sunlight, or humidity. Those are the things they don't like. Now, you can't really control the humidity so much where you live, unless you get like a dehumidifier. But the heat you can control to a point, and the sunlight you can definitely control. So the sunlight, my wax is stored in a room where it doesn't really get direct sun ever, so there's never any sunlight exposure. Heat, I don't have AC, so it's gonna be warm sometimes in the summer, and that's just is what it is. Can't control that. Humidity, where I live, it doesn't get that humid very often, so I don't live near any major bodies of water. So humidity is going to be trickier to control. And what happens with humidity is it just tends to break down scent oils quicker. More quickly though, is it just, your bars become juicy. They become kind of like liquidy on top, or they have some oil settling on them. And that's what tends to happen with humidity. Let's see here. Melissa wants to know, what is my favorite scent to melt when guests come over? Mine is aloe water and cucumber. Okay. My favorite scent for when guests come over, and I like barely ever have guests over. I'm such a hermit. Typically when I have guests over, it's family, and they tend to be very scent sensitive. So I'm thinking like vanilla type scents are usually a win. Something like very vanilla would be something I'd melt. Very soft spice scents sometimes in the like winter months. Just anything that's not overpowering. I don't melt like the super boomers when I have guests over, because not everyone is into those kinds of scents, and not everyone's into like super strong scents in general. So the next one I'm going to chop here is the Long Night from Teddy Bees. This is cocoa butter, cashmere, tonka, oud wood, and marshmallow fireside. This one's beautiful. This reminds me of like a sweeter, younger version of like White Amber and Silk from Scentsy, which I love. So love this one. Glad I got this one. Okay, what was I talking about here? Okay, yeah, guess. So I would say like vanilla, very vanilla. Any type of like gentle bakery scent is usually a safe bet. Apple pie scents or apple cinnamon scents seem to do well. Or just kind of gentle spices is what I go for. Top 3 best Scentsy mixes. I think I did some of my favorite 3 mixes recently. So one of them is one I haven't done yet this year, and it is a 3-bar mix. And it's vanilla bean buttercream, strawberry swirl, you could use sugared strawberry, and Hug in a Mug. And you could use any chocolate scent you have. Hug in a Mug isn't around anymore. But that one makes Neapolitan ice cream, and I love it. And I just do 1 of each cube, so 3 cubes total in each of my warmers, and it's beautiful. The other one I love, and both of the bars are coming back in September, is Forever Fall, mixed 1-to-1 in the same warmer as White Pumpkin and Driftwood. That mix is fantastic, and both those bars are coming back. The other one I like is Bonfire Beach and Vanilla Waves. That's a fantastic mix. Really like that one. The other one I've got going today, and I think I'll play with the ratios next time though, is Around the Campfire mixed with Maple Peak, the Canadian exclusive Scentsy bar. That is fantastic. However, I think Maple Peak is not strong enough to compete with Around the Campfire. My bar of Around the Campfire is aged, so it's very strong and very lovely. And Maple Peak needs a little bit of aging time, I think. So I think if they were both aged, it would be a better mix, but I think I need to change the ratio in the meantime. Let's see here. Okay, so there's my top 3. Do I like to travel? Not really. If so, where? I'd prefer not to travel. And that's like a weird, most people love to travel, I know. I'm a hermit, I'm a homebody. I prefer to stay home. I just like my house, I like my bed, I love all the little things I got around here, and I just like being here. And I don't like crowds and bustle and all that sort of stuff, so I prefer to be at home, to be honest. But if I have to travel, I will. Name a place I've always wanted to go but haven't yet. Okay, that's fun. I haven't been anywhere tropical before, and I would like to go somewhere tropical at some point. So I'm going to go with that. I'm not picky. Like Mexico, Jamaica, I don't know. I'm not picky. Yeah, okay. I talk about fresh poured scents being different than wax that's sat on a shelf and aged. Yes, so I have made a whole video about this, so I'll link the video. I'll try to link it here below. But in general, in a nutshell, fragrance oils in general, not just Scentsy, but fragrance oil in general, tends to develop more as it sits a bit longer. So when it's first poured, it tends to be a little bit softer and not quite as like well melded into the wax and strong. As it sits a bit longer, it kind of develops, strengthens, and just kind of melds together. And that's just kind of called curing or aging. Yeah, that happens pretty much all the time. It'll be more noticeable in things like your vanilla-based scents and that sort of thing, but it happens with most scents to some degree. The only scents that really don't age or cure well are things like citruses. Citrus doesn't tend to do that well. If anything, citrus oils across the board tend to degrade a little bit quicker than other scent notes, so citrus is best used fresh generally. Let's see here. Again, yeah, a deep dive explanation. I don't have time for a deep dive in this video, but I have done a deep dive video on aging and curing in a separate video. My top 10 Scentsy scents of all time and top 10 warmers. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to pause for this one. Okay, top 10 Scentsy scents of all time. Bright Cider Life, Pacific Sandalwood, My Wish, King Cake, oof, Apple S'mores? Oh, this is hard. Christmas Cottage, 100%. Let's see here. Maple Peaks might go in there. Toasted Marshmallow for now, but it's probably going to be replaced by Maple Peaks. Sleigh Ride's up there. Possibly Sleigh Ride. Graham Cracker Crunch. Cider Mill, which will be coming back. And then Perfect Peppermint, because I like that one when I have a headache. So that's my 10. So I can't even repeat those. I was thinking off the top of my head, but those are them. Bright Cider Life, Pacific Sandalwood, My Wish are the top 3. Top 10 warmers, that's harder. The Swirling Snowman Christmas warmer from last year, the Holiday Hearth, or the Christmas Hearth one from a few years back, the limited edition one, Enchanted Pumpkin, Starry Pumpkin, Forever Fall, the Daydream mini warmer that I got from my friend Sarah. It's one of my favorites. That one's actually discontinuing from our catalog here at the end of August. Floral Daydream, some kind of daydream. That one's really pretty. It's like pink with iridescent flowers. Lavender Love mini, the Diamond Milk Glass warmer, the Element warmer, that's going to be available still. And another one. Let's see. Trying to think of my spring. Oh, Chromatic. Chromatic is one of my favorites. It was a June warmer of the month 3 years ago. It was my first warmer when I joined Scentsy. So Chromatic warmer gets one of them. Let's see here. Can't think of a 10th. I think they all kind of tie for 10th. Like I can't think of the Jack Skellington Pumpkin King warmer is pretty good. That'll probably get my number 10. Okay, there's my 10 favorite warmers. Curious what type of SUV you selected. Okay, yes, I'd asked a little while ago about SUV suggestions because we're on the market for a new SUV. My husband is 6'4". He's very tall, very broad, and we need a tall enough SUV because they all have sunroofs now, and apparently if you have a sunroof, it's very hard to be over 6'1" with a sunroof because they cut a few inches off the top of the car for the sunroof. So being tall, he has a hard time. So we're finding, and what we found is that we want, it sounds like a lot of people really like the Hyundai. We currently have a Hyundai and love it too, so that's working well. So Hyundai would be a good option. Honda has a few great options as well, and that would be a good option. Toyota, we would love to get a Toyota. Good luck getting a Toyota in Canada right now. There's like a 2-year wait list for the Toyotas you want, and other than that, you have to kind of like travel within the province like 10-12 hours away and try to find what you want, and even then it's unlikely. There's such a shortage of Toyotas right now, it's crazy. So we would love a Toyota. We cannot get a Toyota. Honda are easier to find, but they're an hour and a half drive, and we kind of want something local to where we live in our town, because when you need maintenance repairs or warranty repairs or that sort of thing, it's winter 8 months a year where we live, so there's snow and ice on the roads most of the year. So we would prefer not to have to drive 2 hours on bad roads to get that done. So we would prefer to have a car local to us, which kind of limits us to Jeep, Toyota, but their lot is literally empty. They have no Toyotas, not a single Toyota on the lot. Ford, which we tried the Edge, loved it. It was too short for my husband. And we tried the Chevy lines, the GMC. Those worked okay. That might be an option. The Acadia worked okay. Buick Enclave is what has our heart. We love the Buicks. We like the Enclave a lot. And that was plenty tall and roomy for us and plenty tall for my husband. The Buick Enclave is considerably more than we'd planned to spend. So I think what we're going to do is just save a little bit more for the down payment and then go for that. But probably going with a Buick. We would probably prefer to do a Hyundai or a Honda, but they're too far away for warranty repairs. So we'll probably go with a Buick Enclave. Haven't got it yet. Let's see here. Okay, we need to get back to chopping wax here, for Pete's sakes. We are going to do Frankish Princess. This one is warm donuts, baked bread, powdered sugar, and a touch of spice blended with butter pecan waffles, blackberry jam butter cookies. Now this one is very pretty, I will say. Can you see all the glitter there? Now this one, it has all these notes, and I was really hoping to get a lot of the donut here, but what I'm getting 95% of, at least on cold, is blackberry jam butter cookies. Now I love blackberry jam butter cookies, but that's all I'm getting, and it's kind of disappointing for that reason. So I wanted the donuts. And maybe with some age and maybe with some warming, this will come out more, but so far, not getting it. Still very nice. Let's see here. Abby Smith wants to know, other than Scentsy and other smell good things for my home, what are my hobbies? How do I decompress after a hard day at work? There are many. She's a teacher. Oh yes. Good job being a teacher. My husband's a teacher too, and the days he has, I mean, I feel like my job is heavier than his job is lighter, because teaching is incredibly exhausting and difficult, but I feel like it's a bit lighter and more optimistic in general than my job can be. But my hobbies, my hobby is YouTube and Scentsy. Like, I used to have other hobbies, but now there is no time for other hobbies besides YouTube and Scentsy. And that is okay with me because I enjoy doing those things and it's just working out for me. I like doing that. I used to cross stitch and I like cross stitching, but then I got Ben. Ben is our 90-pound golden retriever, and Ben is rowdy. And so when you have Ben around, it's very hard to have a whole little box of tiny little spools of thread and all these little pins and these little patterns laid out. It's hard to have all those pieces out for cross stitch with Ben around, because he will run by with his tail and flap them off the table, and he will get hair weaved into your cross stitch, and he is very talented at doing all of that. So I don't cross stitch anymore now that we have Ben. I may start again once he's a little bit older and maybe less past the puppy stage, because he's still, I mean, he's giant, but he's still a puppy. So maybe once he's grown up and settled down a bit, I'll be able to cross stitch again. But I can't imagine having 2 hours to sit and stitch anymore. Like I don't have downtime anymore like that. But yeah, my downtime now is Scentsy, and I love doing that. So it's a nice change of pace from my regular day job. So I do love my day job though. But again, there are days where it's hard and you just need to come home and not think about that anymore. And so that's where Scentsy has been really helpful, is that I can just throw myself into Scentsy, and that's fun, it's lighthearted, it's not serious. And that's the thing with wax, it's wax. It's not that serious, it's not that deep, it's just wax. So even if you don't like it, and even if there's drama, the drama is pretty lighthearted because it's just wax. So that's what I like about Scentsy. And so yeah, that's kind of where that is. And hobby-wise, I don't remember what hobbies were before I had Scentsy going and YouTube going, because that is kind of what takes most of my time now. But I wouldn't have it any other way, and I really, really am grateful for where things have gotten to with Scentsy, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that is Frankish Princess. My favorite warmer and mini warmer, I think I talked about that already. What do I put in my Happy Mail? Heidi wants to know. In my Happy Mail, it depends on the time of year. If it's catalog changeover, like just now, I do a catalog, a thank you flyer with some club information, usually some samples, like felt samples with wax on them, with some scent descriptions for a new collection or the scent of the month, whatever's available. If I have a scent of the month pamphlet, I'll put that in there. A sticker, like a water bottle sticker that you can put on your water bottle. I liked something kind of fun and just like seasonal that you can look forward to and have a new one every time you get Happy Mail. So stickers are a good one because you can give it away as a gift. You can put it on your water bottle. You can use it on whatever you want, and just know that you're going to get a new seasonal sticker every Happy Mail packet time. So I do that. Once in a while, I'll do scent circles sometimes. Yeah, sticker. I usually do business card magnets if you're a new customer. I just find they're easier than paper cards because what do you do with paper cards? I just like the business card magnets. It's got my QR code on it. You can pop it on your fridge and scan it when you want to order. And I just find that works better than a paper card. So that's what I do. How many other provinces have I visited? How much have I seen? Have I seen much of Canada? I have been to BC where I live and Alberta, which is right on the border of where I live right now. So I've only seen BC and Alberta. I haven't traveled very far. Again, I'm not much of a traveler. I would like to see more of Canada though. So yeah, I'd be open to traveling. My husband really wants to do a cross Canada trip one year. So I'm not sure when that'll be, probably when my daughter's a little bit older. I think when she's like 10 to 14 would be a good time to do that, when she still thinks we're cool to hang out with, and wants to hang out with us, but is a little bit older and can remember it and be more independent. So that's probably the goal. How many cubes do I suggest for mini warmers? Lori Lynn only puts in 1 cube and is wondering how many fit. In general, 2 cubes works for most. I have 1 or 2 mini warmers. One of them is the black cat one from last Halloween. That one I only put 1 in because it feels a little bit shallow for 2, but almost all of the mini warmers will hold 2 cubes very comfortably. There are very, very few that can only hold 1. But yeah, in general, 2 cubes is fine in a mini warmer, absolutely. I usually only put 1 cube because I have very, very small bathrooms. My bathrooms are teeny tiny, like maybe 4 or 5 foot by 8 or 10 foot, like they're very small. If you had a bigger space that were trying to scent with that mini warmer, I would do 2 cubes. Okay, if I could only have 3 fragrances from Scentsy and 3 from any other company, which melts or bars would I choose? Okay, 3 from Scentsy, I'm gonna have to go through the nostalgic ones here. I'm gonna go Christmas Cottage, Bright Cider Life, King Cake. From any other company? I think I'm gonna go Scentsy still. No, Fall Yoga Pants by the Fire from Sassy Girl Aroma would get 1. That one's fantastic. It's like a bakery, smoky cider type scent. It's wonderful. Baked Apple Pie from Birch and Buttercream from Melting Memories. That one's phenomenal. It's like a buttercream birch scent. I love that one for all winter long. It's Christmas and it's all winter. So that one I would pick for sure. And then, this is too hard. I don't know. I'm going Frosty Air, weirdly enough, from Scentsy, only because I haven't picked a bathroom, laundry room type scent. So I do want something to warm in bathrooms then. So Frosty Air would be it. Okay. Stacy Jewell wants to know, how long have I lived in Canada? My whole life. Would I ever at some point move to the US? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but probably not logistically. Realistically, I can't see myself moving to the US. I just don't know how that would work. My family's all here. My work is here. I don't know. I think I'm just happy here and I'll probably stay here. How did I get into my line of work? So my line of work is I'm a trauma counselor for people who have survived domestic violence or childhood trauma. And how did I get into that? I kind of went to school in that field. My degree is psychology and sociology. So that's where I have my education background. And then I started out doing addictions counseling actually at an Indigenous Friendship Center when I first started out. And that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. But then I decided I wanted to work more just with women. And so that's what I ended up doing, is I work now with women for a nonprofit in like the anti-violence field. So this one here, I think I just got glitter all over my face. So now I have Campfire Stories. This is Ooey Gooey S'mores, Cold Night Winds, and Sweet Vanilla Woods. Something about the s'mores here I'm not sure about. Maybe it's the chocolate. I don't know. I'm not getting much Cold Night Winds. But the vanilla woods, I think, is that iced vanilla woods note that vendors sometimes use. And it's that one that kind of has a bit of a masculine lean to it. And that's what I'm smelling. And then I'm not sure how that's jiving with the s'mores on cold at least. But this could be very good warm. And I also think it's going to need some age. So that is my verdict on Campfire S'mores. I like it, but I think it needs some age. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's my line of work. What is that? Did you hear that? I think it was like tires skidding like far away. I don't know. It was either that or my fridge. I'm not sure which. I think it was tires. Okay. But yeah, I've been doing this for close to 10 years now. So that's what I've been doing. And I don't plan on leaving that field anytime soon. I really, really enjoy what I do. And I love my coworkers and the work that I do. So there's that. Okay, Sherry wants to know if I had 24 hours to put any scents in my club, what would they be? She would choose breakfast in bed. That's a good choice. I would choose Pacific Sandalwood in multiple bars. I would up my quantity of king cake. I would probably up my quantity of caramel praline cake. What else would I add? I would probably add toasted marshmallow. And what else? Farmhouse fir. I got a bar of farmhouse fir from my friend Liz in a swap last year. Last year or this year? It may have been the spring, I can't remember. It was phenomenal though. Like, I think it was last fall. Time flies. It was phenomenal. I love that one. And like, I'm not a tree scent person, but farmhouse fir is one I would love to have in my club. So I hope we can vote that back one day. It was in the top 25 in voting on Bring Back My Bar recently. I'm not sure yet if it made the cut or not. I guess we'll find out soon. But I hope it did because that was a great scent. So I hope we can get farmhouse fir back one day. Let's see here. Have I ever visited the US? And if so, where? I have not. I've never been to the US. What were my impressions? I haven't been there. If I've never visited the US, where would I like to visit? Okay, I would like to visit all kinds of places because the one thing I find fascinating about the US is that you guys have like all different areas. You have like a lot of places that seem kind of like Canada. Like I feel like Minnesota and like the kind of upper northern states kind of feel very Canadian. Like I feel like Minnesota and Canada are pretty much the same thing. Your Oregon, your Washington, that sort of thing all feel very Vancouver, like Pacific Northwest, feel very like British Columbia. That all feels very similar to Canada as well. But then you have these really, really hot places. And then you have like tropical places like California and Florida. And then you have these very, very like dusty, like barbecue cowboy states with like Arkansas and like Texas and Alabama and Georgia and those things. And then you have these like beautiful like marshy areas. And then you have these like mountainous areas and you have like a little bit of everything. So that's kind of the cool thing about the US, I think, is that you have a little bit of everything. And then if that's not enough, you have like Alaska, which is kind of like where I live. It's like same kind of climate. So you guys have a little bit of everything. So that's the cool thing is I think it would be hard to pick one place to visit in the US because you guys have a little bit of everything. So if I had to pick, my first place to visit would probably be somewhere unlike where I live. So the first place I'm probably going to go is going to end up being Minnesota because SFR is there next year and I do plan to attend SFR next year. So my first US destination is probably going to end up being Minneapolis of all places. But I would love to go to California. I would love to go to even like Texas. Texas fascinates me. That seems like its own little world. It's fascinating. It sounds like they have great food there. I would love to go there just to eat, to be honest. Hawaii, I would love to go to because it seems beautiful and culturally rich. But yeah. Oh, this one's good. It's fall, y'all. This is marshmallow fireside, sweet cinnamon, orange zest, leaves, brown sugar, and vanilla. This one's probably one of the lighter ones of the bunch, but it's very beautiful and very well balanced. I'm getting no orange zest. I'm getting a little bit of leaf, lots of brown sugar, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, and lots of marshmallow fireside. This is very, very nice. The leaf note here is very nice. It's very creamed out by all that vanilla and marshmallow. Okay, so Kelsey wants to know, I mentioned that I love all things that smell good. Yes, I sure do. What other things do I love the smell of? She enjoys perfume and candles. What are some funny or odd things that I love the smell of? Okay. You know when your dog gets like that corn chip smell on their feet? And it smells like Doritos or corn chips? That's a weirdly nostalgic thing for me. It's not like I would want my house to smell like that, but I enjoy that smell a little bit. It's kind of embarrassing, but there we are. The other one is, let's see here, like gas a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and like huff gas, but like when you're filling up your car and you can smell the gasoline, I kind of like that. So there's that. Let's see. One thing I hate the smell of is bleach. Don't like the smell of bleach. I try to avoid cleaning with bleach unless I absolutely have to, like I'm like sick or something. But generally I'll just use like other disinfectants instead of bleach because I just don't like the smell. Fresh baked bread, yes, absolutely. Fresh cut hay, yeah, that's kind of nice too. Cow manure, she grew up on a farm. Okay, you're on your own there. That one's all you. Brand new car smell, yeah, that's a good one. Fresh ocean air, yeah, that's a good one too. I think one of my very favorite smells that is hard to pinpoint is when it's about to snow. The air gets this kind of cool crispness to it, and it's almost like it's a crisp smell. You can smell it in the air. You can smell when it's going to snow. And I love that smell. So it's like cold and crisp and a little smoky sometimes if there's smoke in the distance, but there's not always smoke in the distance. But you get this kind of like cool crisp. You can smell when it's going to snow. I love that smell. And fresh rain too is really nice, but I prefer the smell of snow in the distance. That is one of my favorites. What else can I think of here? Trying to think. I guess my daughter is like stuffy. She has this little like lovey that she calls Pete, and she's had it since she was a baby. But Pete is like her diehard BFF, and they like, it's like her, she sleeps with that thing every night. Like, she loves Pete. Little rabbit lovey, she loves him. He smells like her, so like, I like the way he smells because he smells like my daughter, which is like a distinctly like sweet little kid smell. She just smells like sweet and clean. I don't know. She smells amazing. So Pete smells kind of like my daughter, and I love that smell. So there's that one. Top 10 Scentsy scents. We already did that one. How my scent preferences have changed. Melissa wants to know. They have changed over time. Like, I feel like I'm a little bit more open to fresh scents than I once was. And there are certain fresh scents that I just can't do. But I feel like I'm more willing to do woodsy scents and spice scents for sure than I once was. I actually really like spice scents, where I feel like I was a bit more hesitant towards them early on. And woodsy scents, I didn't think I liked, but it turns out I very much like woodsy scents. That is kind of a big scent preference for me, is woodsy scents. And I feel like, you wouldn't know it from this order, but I feel like I've geared away a little bit from like the marshmallow sweet scents, like the candy, cotton candy sweet stuff. Those were like absolute favorites of mine when I first got started. And I still really enjoy those. Those aren't things that I dislike now, but I feel like I warm less of those now. And if I do warm them, it's just in like my daughter's room. So that's probably how it's changed. What do we have left? Okay. Over the Hill and Through the Woods. This one is Christmas Trees and Cream blended with warm apple cider. And this one is very Christmassy looking. If you can see that, it's like red, gold, and green. This is good. This smells like a lot of the things I warmed last holiday season. It's beautiful. I love this. So Christmas Trees and Cream is her very like subdued tree scent, and I love it. And then this warm apple cider is beautiful as well. That is phenomenal. I probably should have got a loaf in this because this is gorgeous. Okay, get rid of the tub, keep the lid, grab a bag. Oh no, I lost my place. We're gonna have to scroll. Okay. Texas Chick wants to know, what were the first Scentsy scents that I ever bought? What scents do I wish they would bring back so I could put them in my club? So I already answered that question, but I haven't answered what were the first Scentsy questions, or first Scentsy scents I bought. The first Scentsy scents I bought, if I remember right, Pink Haze I think was one of them. Pink Haze was in there. I bought like 3 bars at a craft fair. One of them was Pink Haze. I think one of them might have been Christmas Cottage. That might have been a different year though. I think one of them was also Mandarin Toffee Treat. And there was another one too, and I can't remember what it was. But Pink Haze was my favorite of them. I loved Pink Haze, and Pink Haze was in my club for a long time, but I wasn't warming it as much. And this is again one of those very sugar sweet scents that I loved initially that I just don't warm as much anymore. So I have a stockpile of it, and I don't need to have it in my club anymore, but I do really love Pink Haze. Christmas Cottage, still a love favorite of mine. It's not Christmas without Christmas Cottage, and I love that one. And I think there might have been others too, but I can't remember. Pink Haze is the one that stands out as being like that I definitely remember. And Mandarin Toffee Treat I had my hands on at one point too. and Christmas Cottages were definitely one of my like early wax blends from Scentsy. I've been into wax melts for a long time. Like I was into wax melts well before I got into Scentsy. I was ordering vendor wax back in like 2007, 2008. So there was vendors even back then, and most of them aren't still open, but I was ordering for a long time before I got into Scentsy. Okay. What have I found to be the best performing fragrance flowers, preferably catalog available? Blue Grotto. Blue Grotto is a catalog available fragrance flower, I think year round, and it's by far the best, like by far the best performing one. That one's fantastic. The other ones I can think of are all, going to be like limited time ones or like seasonal ones, but Blue Grotto, that one's phenomenal. Okay, somebody just asked this question 2 minutes ago, and it was Christine Mathis. She wants to know, how long am I burning my waxes and do I burn them every day? I do melt wax every day, yes. As far as how long, again, it depends on the scent. If it's in bedrooms or bathrooms, it is however long it goes for, however long I can smell it for, which is typically 1 to 2 days usually, sometimes 3, usually 1 to 2. If it's in my open layout here, this area tends to eat wax a bit quicker, and so it tends to be faded after a day. And so in that case, I switch it out every day. Now, one thing to note is I do keep my warmers on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I never turn my warmers off. And that is just because I have a full plate and I don't want to have to worry about one more thing of like turning all my warmers on and off. I want my house to smell good all the time. So I just have it on. And the other thing is, if I'm up in the evening or something like that, I want to just have light already on. So if I'm up with a sick kid or something like that, there's already light. I can already see there's like a little bit of light around. This is like phenomenally pretty. I just need to hold on here. Like, look at that. It is 3 colors. It's like green, blue, and pink. And it's got all the glitter on top. It's so pretty. Oh, I see what she's done here. This is called the trifecta. Where did the bag go? Where did I put the bag? Here it is. Okay, we have got cashmere cream and coconut clouds, strawberry boom boom, warm cashmere musk, sweet vanilla, soft woods, layered with coconut sandalwood and boardwalk marshmallow clouds, and strawberry pound cake and boom boom cream. Okay. So the blue layer, I think, is cashmere cream and coconut clouds. Okay, the bottom layer is strawberry pound cake, boom boom. So I think the green layer is then coconut clouds, and the blue layer is cashmere cream. This is beautiful. Okay. I only smelled the first layer when I first smelled this. And in this particular one, I believe all 3 layers of colors are different scents. So it's going to be important for me then to get these sliced in long, thin cubes so I get a little bit of every scent in each cube so that it's evenly balanced. Oh yeah, so do I melt my wax every day? Yes, I do. And yeah, I burn them, I melt them for as long as they go for. Oh darn, the loaves never chop quite as well as the other ones. We're getting like choppy cuts here and it's gonna crumble on me, which I don't love. Oh. No, don't do it. It's doing it. It's doing it. So the layers are kind of coming apart on me here. Like in like exact splits, which is not ideal, but here we are. That's not great. Okay. Well, we're gonna do our best. Yeah, so I do warm a lot of wax and I warm it all the time. Because why not? I have plenty of it to melt, so. And then Summerlin had asked me how I got into Scentsy. Now I've done videos on that as well, so I'll just kind of keep it brief here. But basically, I was just wanting to be my own consultant. So I had zero intention of ever doing YouTube. Wasn't even on my radar. I liked watching people on YouTube, but I had zero consideration of ever even trying it myself. And I watched a lot more YouTube back then than I do now. I find, I don't know what happens. Like, I feel like once you start doing YouTube, you watch less YouTube because you're busy making your own videos, and then you kind of fall into that. So that's kind of what happens. I still like to watch videos when I have time, but generally I'm pretty busy running my own business into things here and making my own content and editing and uploading my own content. So I find I have less time to watch videos than I would like to. But yeah, I still do watch when I get a chance. That is probably, back to Abby's question, one of the main things I do to relax If it's been an especially hard week or especially hard day and I just don't have it in me to make my own content that day or week, watch other people's content. Or watch like the trashiest, most terrible show I can find on Netflix. That's also a favorite. Right now I'm enjoying Love is Blind UK. I love Love is Blind, but Love is Blind UK is really, really good too. So I've been enjoying that. I think the finale comes out later this week and I will probably sit down and watch that. So that is a favorite. Oh, I'm not done here. Okay. But yeah, how I got into Scentsy, I wanted money back on my own purchases, and that was kind of pretty much it. I thought I would make maybe 2 or 3 orders per year, get a little bit of a rebate on them, and that would be it. End of story. Wasn't going to get into the whole thing, wasn't going to sell to anyone, wasn't going to be on YouTube, certainly wasn't going to tell anyone I was doing Scentsy. And I didn't tell anyone I was doing Scentsy, like in my personal real life, for like, besides my husband, for like 6 to 8 months. It was a while before I was like, yeah, by the way, I do Scentsy. And then a few people, you know, I have a few local customers, but for the most part, where did it go? Why am I doing this? Okay. For the most part though, it's been the YouTube community that's really been the biggest support of my business. And I gotta say thank you to you guys. Like, this has been an amazing thing for me and really, really fun to do and a huge benefit to my family, and it allows us to do a lot of things we couldn't otherwise do, and I really appreciate the little side income I earn from YouTube and Scentsy. So that's been fantastic. What's the next one here? Snowpocalypse 21. So this, I think, was one that Teddy Bees had done when there was like a snowstorm in Texas, which is apparently really rare. This is a magnificent blend of boardwalk marshmallow clouds, cashmere sandalwood, vanilla bean, and cedar. And this one just sounded like a very pretty, cozy winter scent, and it is. And I know my friend Becky really loves this one. So because Becky loves it, I knew I would just gamble and get a loaf, and I'm glad I did. So this is very pretty. I'm trying to show you under my kitchen lights, but the glare is like not helping me here. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty light, slightly soapy, but clean, fresh cedar wood. It's very beautiful. Yeah, that's really pretty. I think age is going to help this one too. Okay, I'm out of things to talk about now, so I'm just gonna like wing it, so get ready for it to be weird. Let me think here. So I guess I can tell you a little bit about where I live. So I live in a fairly small town. We have, I think, maybe 13,000 people here in the area. So it's a fairly small town. We have a movie theater with 1 screen. We have lots of restaurants. We don't have a shopping mall. We don't have a Costco. We do have a Walmart, and we have quite a few grocery stores. Yeah, it's small, but we have everything like we really, really need. Maybe I should cut these more. Yes, I should. These are too big. Yeah, okay. So super small town. Lived here for, I think, 10 years now. I'm not originally from here. My husband's originally from here, but I am not. I'm from like the southern part of BC, so I'm used to it being warmer, and I hated the heat, so I'm okay with it being cooler here. The one thing about being this far north is it's really nice because you actually get northern lights, which is why my channel and my Scentsy business are Northern Lights Glow, because I live where there are northern lights pretty regularly. And I mean, you don't see the northern lights in the summer months. So in like June, July, you don't see northern lights because it's light most of the time. We're far enough north that we get the very, very long days in the summer, and then the very, very long evenings and nights in the winter. So in the summertime, it is light from like 2:30 in the morning until at least midnight, like midnight, 12:30. And then it gets dark for like maybe a couple hours and it starts to get light again. Because we're pretty close to the Arctic. Well, not close, but we're close enough that it affects our daytime. And then in the winter, it's the opposite. So you have just a few hours of daylight, and the sun never fully comes up in the sky. It just kind of creases over it just kind of like edges over the edge of the sky. It doesn't actually come up into the sky. So the sun doesn't come up until like 10 or 10:30 in the morning or something silly. And then it goes down again by like 3:30. I think 3 when it's like peak darkness. So it's not like pitch black all the time, but it feels like you're at work in the nighttime because you're like phoning clients and it's like, it's nighttime. It is pitch black outside, and I'm phoning you, and it's like nighttime, but it's actually like 9 a.m. So I have to call you. So it's kind of funny that way. The other things, let me see here. I have a cat named Piper. She's black and white. We've had her for a couple years. She's like, she doesn't like my husband and I that much. She's like not one of those friendly cats. She's one of those cats that like has one person and then the rest of the people she just tolerates. So she's chosen my daughter as her person, which is kind of what we wanted her to do. Because she is kind of like my daughter's cat. But like, I wish she liked us a little bit more. She does sleep in the bedroom with my husband and I every night, but like she doesn't sleep on the bed. She like sleeps on the corner of the room. She has this like little corner on the floor. She won't even sleep on a bed. She refuses to sleep on a bed. We bought multiple beds for her. She will not sleep on them. If you put a blanket down, she won't sleep on it. She will sleep on a little bare spot on the floor, and that's what she likes to do. I've never met a cat like that. But that's her preference, so that's what she's like. And she's like very serious, very dignified. And then we have Ben, and Ben is a large, goofy golden retriever, and he is friendly, and he is goofy, and he is rowdy, high energy, and he's not the brightest. Like, he's so cute, and he's so sweet. He's not the brightest. He's so goofy, and he's such a good boy, but he's not smart. You wouldn't accuse him of being a genius, but he's a sweetheart. The other day we went for a walk, and like he gets so excited on walks, and so I had his leash, and he actually cut my hand. Like, I don't know if you can see here, but there's like a scab on my finger joint here. That's leash burn from my dog. We were walking, and he got too excited, and rope burned me a little bit, and then he got full of burrs. He ran into like a little patch of burrs, and then he got full of burrs, so I spent quite a bit of time brushing burrs out of his coat. So that is Ben. He's a funny guy. That's good. Okay, this is Creep Show. This is really good. This is pumpkin sugar donuts, marshmallow fireside type, sugar cookies and cream. Oh no, sugar cookies, creamy cheesecake, graham crackers, marshmallow cream, and a hint of sweet spice. So this is heavy bakery. I definitely get the graham cracker crunch on this. Like, look at that. That's super fun. Very Halloween-y. I almost get a hint of like smoky woods here though, and it's not in the notes, but I'm getting like a bit of a woodsiness here. So I decorated for fall like almost 2 weeks ago now, and I know it was a little bit early for a lot of people, but like, I gotta say, if you are wanting to decorate and you're trying to like hold off for social acceptance reasons, just decorate. I gotta say, I've been enjoying the heck out of my decorations. Like, I have been thoroughly enjoying all of my fall decorations so far. They just make me happy. I come home, my little candles are programmed to come on at like 5:30, and they just come on by themselves, and it's just so lovely. I love it. So I've been really enjoying it. So if you're one of those people who just loves fall, and like, even if it's not fall where you live, bring the pumpkin warmers out. Who's gonna know? And if they do know, because they're coming to your house, they probably know what you're like anyways. So you're not gonna surprise them by, you know, being a fall fanatic, because they probably already know you are one. So just do your thing is my motto there. Yeah. The other thing I did, which I haven't done before, is decorated my bedroom for fall. So I gave my bedroom a little makeover here recently on the weekend, and I got the power drill out because my husband was away. And so he got this text message from me that said, "Where's your drill?" And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Doing construction. Need it for walls." And he was like, "Well, now I'm concerned." Because he got this like brief cryptic response about me wanting to drill walls and do construction. But I found it, and I figured out how to use it through the power of YouTube. There's YouTube videos for everything. So that is one thing. It's not just for wax. You can find anything on YouTube about like what to do for anything. So I found the exact drill my husband has and figured out how to use it to drill holes in drywall. And I may have accidentally pulled a bit of insulation out in the process, but we're good. It's fine. I figured it out. So I got my new candle sconces put up, and I got my little garland put up, and then I got my new pumpkin spice bedding, and I put a picture on Instagram of this a couple days ago, but I'm really happy with it. So I've got olive green sheets and pillowcases, and then I've got the pumpkin spice, pumpkin colored duvet cover is what I did. and I'm so happy with it. Like, it's super comfy. Love how it turned out. It's so cozy. And again, I have that set on a timer so that when I come home and I come into my bedroom to get changed at 5 o'clock in the evening, because it is unusual that I'm wearing clothes right now. Like, it is 9 o'clock at night. I should not be dressed. Typically, I'd be in my nightgown by now. And that is another thing while we're here and oversharing chatty goodness. Nightgowns. If you don't have a nightgown, like not a cute nightgown, like a cotton, long, moo style nightgown, you need to get you one. Because that is some comfort. You do not know comfort until you've gotten into like a large cotton nightgown. And that is the best thing I can say. Yeah, I don't typically stay dressed past 5 p.m. So when I come into my bedroom at 5 p.m. to get changed, that's like part of my little leave the day at work thing. Is I come home, get my clothes changed, and then just like carry on with my evening. This is phenomenal. This is Witches Be Crazy. So I think this is my friend Becky's daughter's Davy's. I think this is Davy's favorite scent from Teddy Bees. This is birthday cake, pecan waffles, sugar cookie dough, and a pinch of cinnamon spiced vanilla. I cannot stop smelling this. It's got blue glitter. What I'm getting mostly is this cake and the pecan waffles. It is so good. With just a little bit of spice here. Like, it is fall, but it could be any time of year. Like, I'm not really getting pumpkin so much. I thought it would be pumpkin pecan waffles, and there might be a little bit, but this is mostly like waffles and cake. This is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I can see why Davy and Becky go through so much of this one. Because this one, yes, I could probably do with multiple loaves of this. Okay, where was I? Yes, okay, so I like my little mini lights and my little candles that come on now right at 5 o'clock. So when I'm coming into my room to get changed into my cozy clothes for the evening, my little lights are on, my little garland's on, and it's just like nice and cozy and cute. So I'm loving that. And so that is one thing, is like, that's what this kind of time of year is about for me. Is just making your home as cozy and comfortable and relaxing as it can be. Like, make it your little sanctuary. So that is what I've tried to do, especially over the last couple weeks, is just kind of really lean into making my house as cozy as I can. And like, it doesn't have to be expensive. Like, electric candles on a timer, you can go pricey on those, and I did for a couple of them. But you can also get really inexpensive ones, which I also did. So you don't have to break the bank here. And then new bedding. Bedding can be expensive, but the bedding I got is not. So it was really reasonably priced. And the way I see it, I'm not just buying like bedding for one season. Like the olive green sheets I can use for the holidays too. So the olive green sheets will be fall and winter sheets. And then the pumpkin spice duvet cover, that is going to be fall only. But the way I see it, I can use the sheets with my regular year-round gray duvet cover, and then just add like a red accent blanket. And that's going to be very holiday appropriate then, with the light gray, dark green, and like a red check blanket or something will be very holiday appropriate. And then the garland with the lights, again, I'm going to keep that up even through the holidays. I might add some berry sprigs to it in the winter, but other than that, it's going to stay the same. And then I can just kind of maybe add some little like spring florals to it in the summer, and just kind of make it cozy that way. And yeah, I don't tend to decorate a lot in like the spring and summer. I'll decorate for a little bit for Valentine's Day some years, but not always. And then Easter I tend to do some decorating for sure. But then other than that, I don't tend to do a whole lot of summer decor. It's just kind of like my general all year round stuff. But then for fall, I really like to bring out the decor. And let me know in the comments below too, if you, like, what you decorate for. Like, are you a big decorator that really kind of changes it out often throughout the year? Or do you kind of just stick with like the holidays and fall, or just the holidays? Or what do you decorate for? Like, how often are you changing up your decor? And I'm not a person who's going to change it a lot as the season goes on. Like, I'm kind of a, once the bin comes out, I'm going to put the decorations out, and then I'm going to put the bin away. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to fiddle with it. Once it's out, it is out and it's done. Yeah, I just prefer not to mess with it. I like to be able to like just kind of enjoy it once it's done. So that's kind of a plan. Okay, and then this is the last cube of the last brick. And let's see if I can close this now, because I think I overpacked it. Yeah, it's gonna close. Okay, so there's Witches Be Crazy. So that is all of it. It's all chopped and ready to go. Okay. So that is all of that. My hands are very waxy now, and my cutting board is never going to be the same. So this is the cutting board after we are all said and done. It's covered in glitter. You can't really see it, I don't think. But I will scrape this off into one of my warmers, like all the excess wax on this placemat here. And I'm going to run this through the dishwasher after I use some hot water to kind of like get all the excess wax off. And then it's probably going to still have glitter embedded in it when I bring it out, but I'll run it through once more and it should be good then. And this comes out very clean in the dishwasher as well, so that will be fine. These I will recycle. And then the bags I'm going to go find a home for in my office. So that is what I've got for tonight. This was like the longest video ever, so thank you for bearing with me and sticking through here if you've watched all the way through. That was super fun, so thank you for your questions and for, you know, giving me some stuff to talk about. Otherwise, it would have been just chaos in here as I sat and chopped and talked about my stream of consciousness for an hour and a half. So that is what I've got for tonight. Thank you for chopping wax with me. We will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.